before you guys requesting in the budget for an additional person. Right now, we can maintain compliance. That's our number one priority, is maintaining compliance, making sure that we are following the policies and the laws that we have out there. But with the current staff we have right now, we cannot be strategic and proactive. Adding another person to the department will allow us to be strategic and proactive, doing initiatives that will strengthen the workforce. If this is not added to us, I do have a request to supplement with technology and different things like that. But I just wanted to put it out there. As we all have, we assessed our current workforce and our needs. We can easily go by averages, but the truth of the matter is we go by the current workload that we have. And so it is such an honor for my department to serve the staffing. But again, going into next year, please keep in mind, if the requests aren't fulfilled due to budgeting restrictions, which I understand, that you are going to get the minimum out of your human resource department, which is compliance, fairness, transparency, equity, and mutualism. But as far as being strategic and having new innovative ways and different programs, it may be delayed or it may not be addressed. The second need is a need for stronger systems, automations, and data reporting. I think it's very important to have measurables in anything that we do. And so we'll be looking for that because currently it's not there. And as you can see, the hours that we put, a lot of our processes are manual. So it would be a wonderful opportunity for us to get some technology and automate those things so that it cuts down on the staff time. And then the third would be recruiting executive positions and improving morale and retention. Once we fill those leadership positions and all other, the boots on the grounds and all the hands-on positions that we need within the city, we then have to work on strengthening this morale so we can be cohesive and we can serve our residents at our fullest potential. And with that, I am happy to answer any questions that you guys may have.
Hey, Fallon, well, thank you so very much, first of all, I must say. That was really good and comprehensive. While it is, our position is not strong in terms of the vacancies that are there, just the work that you all collectively as a staff do, I don't know how you do it, but it is very much appreciated, I know by me, sincerely, just seeing the work that you produce and how you come to work on behalf of the residents of this city and so selflessly working extended hours. That really means a lot. I don't think residents have a full view of the weight that you all carry. And that really needs to be communicated, and it also needs to be appreciated, and we thank you for doing that. Have we looked into maybe using temporary staff, working with temp agencies just in the short term?
So that was a consideration when asking for an additional person. However, it will cause some of our processes to be fragmented, meaning that someone temporary coming along, we have harvested a lot of relationships with our staff. And we have practices in place where we are trying to be transparent and consistent. My concern with having a third party coming along, yes, they can help with some of these processes, maybe payroll and different technical things, but if you look at the packet, majority of our work is coming from this one-on-one employee relationship things, such as managing FMLA cases, onboarding new hires, conducting investigations, looking into complaints. That takes a lot of time, and I prefer for that to be on the staff level.
Noted, and I think it's preferable as well.
Alan, can you give a little more inside double click on some of the things that you're speaking of in regards to like technology, the things that you would like to see that would help kind of create the efficiency? Yes,
so I would love to establish a leadership development program within the city. I think training is a huge thing. A lot of times we we can guess or assume that someone, just because you have a good worker, that doesn't mean they're a good supervisor. So I'm just looking to a lot of things that go back into some of these hours we put in place, such as employee relations and complaints. Sometimes it's that good worker that's promoted to a manager, but they don't know how to manage people. So trying to develop a consistent training module throughout the organization would be idea. Other things is strengthening the policy and procedures. Some of our policy and procedures could be strengthened. We have a couple of gray areas within the policy. I'm not going to name them because we do have staff that might take advantage of that. But yeah, it's just strengthening the policies and just having a practice, a common practice, and just policies in place for HR. In the past, it was kind of just like, hey, this person, we did this process this way, and then the next person, we did it this way. So I'm just looking for a lot of consistency, which would take time. Yes, AI is helpful. Yes, legal review is helpful, but it needs the attention of someone in it currently to strengthen those things moving forward.
Yeah, I appreciate that. One of the things that I can say just in my time, and I know that I've had conversations with staff in the past, and I know that things are progressing for the better, right? But I think to your point, the city is, we started at small town Princeton, and before we knew it, we became, the fastest growing city in the country. And probably we'll get back to that state here very soon. But, the level of attention to pouring back into our staff, continuing education, those types of things, I think would be, key for me. Including, as you mentioned, the focus around having very clear procedures that make it very, obvious as to what the expectations are, how to do the job. Most organizations have a knowledge base and make it very clear as to how I can do my job. And I think that those types of things will kind of be like smaller undertakings, in the grand scheme of things, but big turnarounds. And so I would definitely be interested in hearing more about that as you can continue to kind of dig through this. But thank you for the presentation. Appreciate the insight.
Yeah. Other things that you may have seen, we went out for an RFP on benefits. That can be a huge cost to the organization as well. So just having time to fine tune our benefits, seeing how it will be beneficial to the employees, as well as taxpayers' money, because we don't want to put all of our resources into health benefits when we have officers and firefighters and things like that that are needed within the organization. So those are just some of the initiatives I would like to look into moving forward if I had the time and the resources to do so.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Hey, Fallon, in terms of training, have we looked at, or maybe this could be an idea to see what retirees there may be in Princeton with expertise in particular areas that staff may need training, and to see if they would be willing to volunteer those hours with recognition in order to help the process, help us move along, help getting our employees more qualified. I don't know, just a thought I'm having. I know we have several initiatives with PISD. There's the Citizens Academy. With Chase, we're looking at getting volunteers for Parks and Recs activities. But we do have another sector of our population, our seasoned citizens, many who may be qualified in areas that we need to benefit from their expertise. So I'm thinking that maybe we could launch an effort to get some of them engaged and maybe have them being our seasoned citizens, advisory council, and see whether or not they would be willing to lend their services. And of course, Mr. Mayor, we would need you to declare a day for them, or maybe just to honor them for their efforts. But I think it is an avenue we can tap into, and we don't want anyone to go move on empty. We want them to empty themselves out, and if they can do it with us by helping to improve the qualifications of our staff and improving the benefit to our city, that would be good.
I think that's a wonderful idea. One of the things that I looked into doing research was some municipalities actually collaborate with the chambers to add leadership training, and I think that would be a good collaboration. However, we are a small department with a big heart, look. And again, one of the things, I do not want a liability coming out of my department. So I strongly do focus on what's mandatory, being in compliance, making sure that we have all documentation buttoned up. Everything is good for the city, so that is my priority right now.
Noted.
With you looking at the benefits and changes, have you considered, because I know staff gets a certain amount of days off, but only a certain amount can roll over. Have you considered increasing the amount of days that can roll over so staff doesn't feel pressured, like, end of the year's coming, I need to use these up or I lose them? Because that could also benefit with having less days of staff just like burning through them to burn through them, putting us, low on staff. But it's also a benefit for them that it can roll over and they can use it when they're truly going to or would want to. Is that an option or a consideration that your department has looked at?
I believe anything can be an option, and yes, I have considered that. From the employee side, it would be a huge benefit, but being business-minded on the financial side, having that liability on the books, because there is a GASP one-on-one, which means that any benefit that can be compensated or paid out to the employee, we have to count that as a liability in our budget. And so allowing them to carry over more time would be a larger liability or a financial asset that we would have to put on the books. So although I would love it, because I am, as well as many people here, we do lose time at the end of the year when it comes to carrying over, and I don't like losing my time. That has been considered, but I want to do what's best for the organization as well as the employees.
Just as a consideration, so like within the ISD, we have two types of leave where only some of them can be rolled over and the other ones use it or lose it. And I know that's helped our ISDs to balance that cost risk. So you're not risking all of them, but you still have an increased amount that could potentially roll over. And then they're classified like personal, I guess ours is local and state, but it's like the personal leave or the sick leave. And by defining it, it kind of helps navigate those waters a little bit.
Okay. If you are open to it, I would love to discuss that more with you offline, and we can get something going. Thank you.
I think that we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. I'm Sharita Sweetodame. I'm here to speak on behalf of facilities. We serve with purpose. I'm going to start with their departmental mission. We serve with purpose to maintain, improving, and protecting the city's facilities to provide safe, reliable, and welcoming spaces that support employees, residents, and the essential services our community depends on today and for generations to come. We call our facilities team the dynamic duo over in Public Works because they're only two, but they're mighty, okay? They get a lot done. We recently brought on a new facilities manager who is licensed in plumbing, electrical work, as well as HVAC. The accomplishments this year, we maintained safe, clean, and fully operational city facilities, expanded preventative maintenance to reduce costly emergency repairs, responded to facility maintenance requests efficiently while minimizing disruptions to city operations. And what is not included in that accomplishment is the fact that we created, or we found and then made from scratch, a work order system that is also a project management software. So the efficiency and the flow of how facilities now does their work order system is phenomenal. The software also talks back to the team that puts in the service orders or the individuals that put in the service orders. So they're constantly being they're constantly made aware of what's happening next in their service orders. For 2027, the priorities are to maintain safe, clean, and fully operational city facilities, expand preventative maintenance programs to reduce costly emergency repairs, and extend the life of the city assets. It's also to educate and develop our team through ongoing training, safety initiatives, and professional development to strengthen skills and improve service delivery. Facilities didn't have an ask this budget year. What they did, however, want to make sure that was stressed is that they intend to educate, sharpen their skills in order to be better around city facilities. Currently, our facilities team, what was 11, they now take care of 10 city critical infrastructures. The challenges that are foreseen are addressing the ongoing maintenance and repair needs of City Hall while ensuring the building maintains safe, functional, and operational for staff and public. Managing aging building systems and deferred maintenance while balancing available funding. And supporting the city's rapid growth as additional facilities require ongoing maintenance and long-term planning. And that is what I have for facilities. Any questions?
I was wondering, what steps have been taken to prevent the massive costs that are down the road when the current new infrastructure, like with our pump stations and stuff, they're all coming in relatively at the same time, which means certain things that have lifespans will expire around the same time, which potentially puts us in a position where a massive amount of infrastructure will need changed over around the same time. So what have you put in place or are you looking at implementing to help prevent those massive costs?
So that's something that our current facilities manager is also reviewing, and I'm sure we'll also review with the new Public Works Director. It's something that's been identified, but nothing that is solid and on the books yet, just to be, again, transparent. But it is something that we have identified. We are on board with you as stated in the 2027 challenges to come, right? And future things that could become an issue, I apologize, but it's not, there's no plan yet. However, it is on the books for discussion.
So, Mr. Reed, part of that, from my understanding too as well, he is going through and identifying all the big capital assets that's out there as far as the AC units, seeing how old the AC units that are out there. So that's probably going to be about a 6 month to a year long process that's there. But I know that, where's Ms. Kelly? Ms. Kelly's kind of working on another project that's out there alongside the VERF, right? So the Vehicle Emergency Replacement Fund, something like that. And that's going to be kind of working in that hand in hand with some of the equipment, the bigger ticket items that's out there too. First step is really identifying that's everything that we have that's out there to start that kind of replacement fund balance that we're working on.
So would that mean that we'll be doing sort of inspections like we did to the library to identify all of the current needs that the library has? Would we be doing that to the other facilities that we have?
That is the plan, yes, ma'am. It is probably going to be a little bit longer game plan to that, only because the mighty, what'd you call them, the dynamic duo? The dynamic duo, it's just two of them, so they're having to get up there to every building, every AC unit, everything that's out there, really log everything down, label out the years, run the previous maintenance costs that are on there, run replacements costs to it, do side-by-side comparison, and then try to label it up from there.
I want to say thank you for the presentation. I think it's very clear that you guys are covering a lot with a little, right? My question is, we know that we have some additional buildings that are coming, to completion, all right, and even more projected, and there's not an ask current state is what you said. Do you feel confident that where we are right now will be sufficient for future state, or do you think we're kind of okay for the time being, and then when we get back to this review in a year from now or whatever, when we can kind of address it at that point?
I do think that we're okay. I don't want to say confident because we do have new buildings coming online. And as we're bringing in new, we also have our older infrastructure and older assets that need some attention, right, with a duo, right? But I think for now, we're fine, which is why he didn't have any additional asks for this coming budget year. I do foresee in the future that personnel asks will be added, but I think right now, as stated originally, that his focus is on educating currently what's on his team so that the assets that are coming online can be properly cared for from the jump as opposed to, being more proactive than reactive, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
To piggyback on that question, when I did my ride along with Public Works, I got to see the stuff they do. Like, that's insane, and they love it. I know that our staff exceeds what's the requirement for inspecting the pump stations. But if you're saying that, you're not asking for staff, we're okay. As we increase those pump stations, does that mean that that gap between the minimum standard and the standard we are currently doing with our inspections will start to decrease as the amount of pump stations increases, so they can't get all of them like that?
No, great question, and thank you for asking. So I don't want to confuse facilities with public works. The maintenance on the lift stations and pump stations are done by wastewater and water and not facilities. Facilities are our critical infrastructure that house city like employees, so fire, all that stuff. When it comes to housing our utilities and all that fun stuff, other departments or divisions take care of that.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is it good afternoon yet? Almost. Stomach kind of growling a little? Mine is. I thought I'd start off first with our finances mission statement, my goodness. And you'll see that in our accomplishments and what our priorities will be for next year. But we want to provide sound fiscal stewardship with strong internal controls and being responsible for the management of the city's financial resources to provide leadership with the decisions that you have to make either today and tomorrow. So some of the accomplishments that we've done this last year, I'm very proud of the first ever popular annual financial report that went hand in hand with the audit, where we condensed it into a 15-page report with the assistance of marketing. I think that helps the residents take a very complex document and brings it down to what is important to know about your city and how we're spending your resources. So that was something that I was really proud that we pushed forward to provide that transparency. We also, I mentioned this earlier, implemented a new budget software. Before that, when I got here, everything Excel. Everything was on Excel. We were back and forth using Excel. So, not to say that Excel doesn't go away, because I still live in Excel a lot, but this software provided us a great workflow and communication with the departments. They could see notes, I could make comments, they could comment back, and they're gonna always be able to see their notes accessible when they're looking at their budgets. So when they're going into the next year and they're managing their budgets, they have resources to see where they're spending and what their budget was for. So I'm really excited about pushing that one out, and thank you, Council, for approving that authorization to do that. We also, with the assistance of having a new purchasing manager, you'll be seeing her a lot, I think. She implemented a updated purchasing policy, as well as bringing to Council the vehicle and replacement fund that the chief had mentioned earlier as well. So those are some great things we're seeing in the procurement side, because there is a lot of things going on, as we've all been talking about in the city. So procurement has to be that sounding board to make sure that we're spending the resources properly. So some priorities for next year is going to be phase 2 of that budget software. I think Council will be really excited to see this. It will be a forward-facing dashboard on our webpage. That allows residents to be able to see real time what our budget is and where we are in our spending. So I'm really excited to push that out this coming year. It will also have a capital improvement program too. So I think getting away from all these Excel documents and having that real time as well for the residents to know where are we at on these projects. Some other things within my team, we're going to be looking at modernizing, I can't say that right now, accounts payable. We're going to look at some electronic workflows with our invoices so that we can keep this communication going quicker, and making sure that we're processing accounts payable faster and more efficient. This will help the departments also be able to see their expenditures real time. So we're going to be pushing a lot of workflows in the future. And then the P-card program. P-card meaning our purchase card. People might not understand what P-card, essentially it's a credit card processing program that departments will have direct access to the banking platform. Right now, we get receipts from the departments, we're scanning it in, it's a lot of manual process, it's just not efficient. So we were looking at opening up this banking platform that gives them direct access to their expenses. They upload the receipts, they code it where it needs to be expended, and we just download it into our system. So that'll give us better, timely financial reporting on that end too. So those are our priorities for going into next year. But some challenges, you'd even talked about capital projects. As we see the city expanding and growing, this is going to increase our financial oversight on these capital projects, contract administration of these projects, as well as project reporting. Also, we're going to be looking some challenges of balancing that act of council's priority of formal bidding of projects or looking at the co-ops. I guess, of course, our mission, as I said, was to provide responsible management of the city resources. So we always want to look at, are we providing the best value for the taxpayer dollars? And minimizing, though, so that the departments can still move forward with their operations, minimizing that procurement timeline. So again, those co-ops does provide that competitive procurement, and it remains a good, effective tool. We did hear, though, from council that you wanted more bids, so that's just a challenge that we're going to be looking and balancing that act. And of course, maintaining compliance, transparency, efficiency, and helping these departments get through this challenge we have in the coming year. So, finance did not ask for anything. I know, we kind of knew going into this that we just felt like we just need to buckle down and deal with what we got today. I do project, though, in the future, we would probably need to add some more staff, because as things go on, there's a lot of financial transactions that have to be managed, and funds. We have 39 funds and growing. That concludes my presentation.
Kelly, I appreciate your all your comments and all the work you do. And I noticed in your organizational chart for the future, it says future FY 2028 instead of 2027. So is that what you're looking at for 2028? At what point in time do you think the city is going to be at the certain growth that we're going to have our own standalone purchasing department, like many entities have? Are we getting close to that?
Purchasing in all the organizations I've worked at for the last 20 years has always been in the finance department. It really isn't a standalone department because we do work hand in hand. We're working together, making sure the financials and the procurement and purchase orders. So I still see that in all my years of experience, over 20 years, that stays in the finance department than being a standalone silo.
I want to say, while getting those bids is beneficial for some projects, the co-ops have been beneficial, such as the gas co-op that you found for us. It's been great for our residents. It helped lock some prices in for them, which was great considering what's going on in the world. So I see the benefit of having that balance, and I appreciate you looking at that. I do have a question about your proposed budget. Does it include already the expected costs for the required audit of our CIP project, like the funds for that, since we'll be having to audit those going forward? And if so, have we started to identify the third party that we'll have to bring in, since there's requirements for that, where they can't have done business with the city for 12 months and such?
I'll be very transparent. No, there's no funding in there, but I believe we could pull those funding sources from restricted funds, not the general fund. So that would be something that we can plan ahead when that time comes. It would not be an impact to the general fund.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
I think, Fallon, this may be more appropriate for you as I'm looking through finances report. I'm seeing that the average unpaid hours and overtime per person per month is upwards of 35 hours. What barriers are we seeing to employing staff, support staff, and how can we overcome some of those challenges? Is there anything council can do, or how can we come together to alleviate some of that? This is a lot of hours.
Yes, and it is a lot of hours, and I would like to emphasize some of the priorities of providing some more efficiencies that we're looking into of the P card program. That's going to help alleviate some time, as well as the accounts payable workflow. That will alleviate some of those hours as well. So I'm always looking for efficiencies first. A lot of the hours is within the procurement office is spending a little bit more time, and then I will tell you, I'm working 7 days a week pretty much. But I love it. I can't disengage myself, but always looking for efficiencies. And do plan in 2028, I hope that we can look at possibly bringing a buyer on, because I can see the increase in all of the contracts that have to be managed.
So it's primarily looking at being more efficient and employing technology into our processes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Before you get started, I have one more question for you. One of the big deficits that our city has is qualified or trained board members. Are we looking at ensuring that we have funding set aside to either host our own type of training conference for them, or ensuring that they're getting out there and sent to trainings so that our board members understand their roles? And if we can increase that knowledge, I feel like it can help balance out some of the things for the city when they're making approvals and looking at the different aspects of their board's review.
If that is the direction of council, we can make sure that we earmark those funds for sure.
So at this time, we have no funding earmarked at all for that.
No, we have training for council in the budget, but we do not for boards and commissions. But again, I'll look for your feedback on that with the budget.
Thank you.
And Jim just told me his two boards, they have training as well for EDC and CDC.
All right, Chief, thank you.
Mayor, Council, thank you for, good morning, thank you all for being here. I'd like to start with our mission statement. As you can see up on the board, our mission statement's kind of long. It's hard. I want my guys to be able to memorize our mission statement. When they go out, they know what our mission statement is and what we stand for. So as of Wednesday, I have redone our mission statement. I think a mission statement should be strong and powerful. So starting forward, our new mission statement is the Princeton Fire Department will serve with honor, will lead with integrity, and will respond with courage. I think those are three main words, are our core value words. And I think that is a statement that our fire departments will see, our guys will see every time they leave the fire station. And that's what they're going to strive to do every time they go out on a call, whether it's a call, just going to the grocery store, public event, anything like that. They strive to be their best. So, some of our 2006 accomplishments. We secured one of the big things for the city's safety. We secured a new contract with the outdoor warning siren vendor. The sirens that we had in our city were anywhere from 10 to 12 years old. Only at one point in time, I think we had one of them working. They needed hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of work done on them. Some of them just needed to be totally replaced. We went out and met with OmniWarn, and we got 10 brand new high-tech sirens installed in the city. They're solar powered with backup battery. They don't run off any electricity, so we don't have to worry about lightning hitting them, power going out. They don't work. They're also hooked up with the National Weather Service, so when the National Weather Service puts out a tornado warning, they automatically go off. They don't have to wait for myself or Chief Waters or whoever's got access to the system to go out and hit that button to go out. They automatically go out. So our warnings to our citizens are going to be anywhere from 2 minutes to 5 minutes sooner than they normally were, because a lot of times we would sit and debate on, is it time to send it out? Is it not time to send it out? It automatically gets sent out. We can still go in and manually send them out, but this one just goes out automatically. We improved the readiness through equipment maintenance, policy updates, and ongoing training. Throughout the year, when Chief Stevens was here with me, we completely rewrote all of our SOPs, from operational to admin to fire marshal to the emergency management. So every one of our SOPs, they were anywhere from, I'd say, 5 to 10 years old. We went in and completely rewrote all the SOPs.